Yeah, starting out now. Okay, I think we are live right now. Let me see. Let's double check on the page.
Usually you will know when your audience starts to say, yes, you're live.
Yeah. Yeah, we are live already. I can see it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, we can actually take some time because we are still early. You can take some time to share it to our own personal profile.
Okay. But it's the same link, yeah? It's the link that you gave me.
Yeah, you can go into the, so you can share the link also. So once they click onto the link, they go to the page. They can actually see the live video. If not, we can actually also click into it, right? Then you saw the live video. We can also share it to our own personal profile.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me give this a shot. Okay, I don't.
It was.
Okay. It's live now. Oh, okay. Okay, I saw our video. Live now. Oh, okay. Okay, I saw our video.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done also. All right, let's see.
Oh wait, I better off my WhatsApp.
Oh yeah, the notifications and all.
Ding ding dong dong. Okay.
Okay. I'm done also.
Because I'm a little nervous. I haven't been doing this like this year.
Don't worry, even for me, like, you know, I do it like every week. I still feel a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, all right. I think we can get started right now since it's 6:30. All right, shall we start officially?
I'm ready.
Okay. Okay, great. Welcome to the Journey with Mavis Live, and this is Mavis, your host for today. And today we have a very special guest on board with us, Rainy. Oh, this side. Yes. And Rainy, she's an executive life coach. What I really love about her is that she has a huge heart for the community. She does very amazing work. She helps her clients to achieve breakthrough in both their personal and professional lives. And as you connect with her deeper, you can really feel like her love and like how much she really care for the people around her. Yeah, and yeah, and for now, this is the 5th episode of this season, Transform Your Pain into Purpose. And today, Rainy will be sharing about her own journey, about how she transformed her breakdown into breakthrough. Okay, so let's pass the spotlight to Rainy.
Thank you. Thank you. That was very kind of you. Thank you for generous words. I didn't script myself, so it's gonna be a very casual sharing.
Yes.
And I hope that whatever that I shared today is gonna be useful for anyone that is watching here today.
I believe definitely will be.
Okay.
So
you'll be asking me a question, yeah? Okay.
Oh yes, I'll be asking you a question.
All right, sure.
Yeah, really. So like, can you share with us like what drives you to be like an executive life coach today?
Wow. I didn't plan to to have this career. I didn't plan to be a coach. I feel that it was life that led me to this profession. So when my ex told me that he wants out of our marriage, I felt that my life was shattered, that I felt that I lost everything. You know, I lost my loved ones, and I just felt that nothing becomes useful or meaningful anymore. And I needed so badly to have a new purpose in my life. So I was searching desperately for what is it that I really would love to do in my life that can keep me going and continue to look forward to live. And I almost, in my search, I almost stumbled into a wrong path. One of that was like to be an online mompreneur and then help women to start their online business. I even bought the domain name. And then what's funny was like, I got stuck when I needed to write articles and posts. And I told my friend, hey, I don't know what to write. Then my friend told me this. He said, then that means that you're not passionate enough for that topic. That is not the right one for you. So there was one wrong stumble. But as I kept searching for it, then I realized that actually life has been planned for me. When I look back in my past, I have started coaching in like 2013 part-time, as well as volunteering my time as well. And I already have that skill set and that knowledge. It's just that back then when I do that, it was just thinking that, oh, it was to help myself, it was to help people. I never thought that it can actually be a profession. And it was when I lost my marriage, then I realized that, hey, maybe God led me to go through all this pain and eventually to lose my marriage was because He wants me to be able to share my experience and to use my skill set to help people so that they do not need to go through the pain that I go through or to pay the price that I had paid myself. Because when I look back in my past, I realized that I have also contributed to my outcome. So it's not just one person, but it's also, I have my blind spot as well. And I make a lot of mistakes that created the outcome that I have today. So I learned that there's a lot that I didn't know what I didn't know, and that created my outcome, that sabotaged my life. And I didn't want that to happen to more people. So I guess that was why I decided to turn my pain into my purpose. Yeah. So that's in short. I hope that
Sure. Yeah, so you mentioned that it's because of the breakdown in the relationship. Then after that you felt like then you were a little bit lost. You felt like you needed to move forward. You need to go and discover new purpose and everything. Yeah. And then then after that you also try different things, and then you realize that's not for you. Now how do you like after that, how do you move from like the online mompreneur thing to coaching? Like what happened in between for you?
Actually, I'm very thankful I'm very thankful that I have my coaches community. I'm very thankful that I also have my coaches who actually was really there for me to help me. Like one of my coach, he was there with me when I was in that journey of preparing for that divorce. No, actually that is a very tough period for a lot of people, and I'm glad that I had someone like that who continued to coach me and ground me and remind me of what's important and to help me to gain my power. And there was another one which is also a mentor and my coach that helps me to kickstart my coaching profession. And so without these people, I felt that it wouldn't be so easy or so fast for me to create my breakthrough and my results. I would probably be able to do that on my own, but it's probably gonna take like years. So yeah, I'm grateful that I have people who helped me back then. Yeah, that makes a difference.
So I understand. So it's like you mentioned that it was when you were struggling, you already have a coach at that point of time, and then you benefited from like having a coach. That's when you really you realize that, wow, like how coaching can actually make an impact in people's life and all.
Yeah. It all started with me trying to save myself from drowning, because I know that if I were to go through it on my own, equally painful, but I realized that when I have help from people, it makes a lot of difference to my journey. My journey becomes a lot easier, although it's still equally painful, but at least there's a guide, there's a safe space, and there's help that helps me being able to look at things more rationally and not just to act emotionally. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it was like community, and then you have like, okay, you have a coach, you also have a mentor that help you in the transition and everything. What was there any like key advice that you held on to that, like, whenever you really struggle, you feel like giving up, then what was the one, like, key message or key advice that you held on to that, like, just you decide to keep going on? Yeah.
Okay, there is one that I really love. This is classic. It's actually a classic quote from Jim Rohn. He says that, if you don't like your life, change it. You're not a tree.
Oh, yes, I know that quote.
Because all along, I have always loved to learn from quotes. And this quote really struck me. And I realized that, when you start, why are we keeping stuck in that period? Why aren't we do something and to move? So that stuck in me. And then that was where my rainmaker name come from as well. I believe, the meaning of that name for me is that someone who make things happen. I am a believer that if there's no door, go and build the door. So I'm a strong believer of that. So a lot of things in my life or in my career, I make it happen. I don't wait for people to give me the opportunity, but I go out there and create the opportunity. And this is also what I kept on telling my clients. You know what? You don't have to wait. You can just make it happen now. You can just get it done. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's a very empowering perspective and all. Yeah, that is true. Like, if there's no one, go and create it, right? You can create your own reality and all.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And just curious, why do you think people are stuck? For you, it's okay, what was the thing that actually really made you decide to search for a solution? A lot of people, when they struggle, they just remain stuck and just let it be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I learned the hard way. I really learned the hard way because many years back when I was stuck, because my relationship was toxic, my marriage was toxic. It was an 11 years of marriage. And for about at least 4 or 5 years at the beginning of that journey, I actually quite depressed. So, and back then I didn't know there's these things about being able to seek help, you can talk to someone, etc. I didn't know there's such things. So for that few years, I actually suffered alone, quietly, and always feeling depressed, cry alone. I'll cry alone in the washroom, in the toilet, in the bedroom, and I'll just shut down all of the windows. And it's just me giving me that self-pity that I didn't get from anyone. And for many years that happens until one day I just realized that, you know what? I hate myself. I didn't like my life and I have enough of it. And I told myself, this is it. Because no matter how much I cry, no matter how much I scream for help, just nobody cares. Nobody cares. Then I just realized that nobody except me can help myself. And I make a decision that one day that I want to change. I must change. I don't know how, but I would do whatever it takes to change. So with that decision, that was the very first step of me finally go out there and look for help, going for courses into courses to change my mindset and change the way how I think, or the way how I feel, and the way how I behave, and eventually being able to grow myself and eventually being able to change my life today. So it's a journey, it's a progress. Some people learn it easier by looking at how other people make the mistake and stop doing the mistake. But I guess for me is that I learned it the hard way. I go through the painful way of trying to solve it on my own, which I couldn't, and wasted a lot of my time. And eventually come to my realization and managed to get help. And now I feel that with everything that I have known, I want to help people to discover what they didn't know so that they don't have to pay for what they didn't know. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. And it's also because of like your experience of like struggling alone that makes you really have empathy for people who struggle alone, right?
Yeah.
Because like you've been through, you know how it feels like,
Yeah.
and you just don't want anyone to go through the same thing as you have went through.
And I have to be honest with you, you know, in the past, who I am is probably a lot of people will think that I'm selfish or I'm not approachable, because back then all I think about is me. Why are things happen to me? Why nobody love me? Why am I so bad? Am I so not worthy at all? It was always about me. I was just so focused on my pain. But eventually over the years, as I continue to be treated like an invisible woman, then I realized that, you know what? I don't want to treat people this way. I learned that, hey, I want to love people. Although I'm not receiving love, I have a lot of love and I want to do it differently. And I want to go out there. I want to love people. And eventually as I love people, I receive a lot of love these days, and that changed my life. I would say that actually my setback was what makes me a better woman today.
Okay. Sorry, I feel like I was very surprised because, you know, like as I met you for the first time, that time on the Zoom, right? Like when I connected with you, I could feel a lot of empathy from you and all. Like when I talked to you, I feel like you can really relate. And I was very surprised when you told me that, oh, you didn't used to be like this. It was after what you went through and everything. Wow.
And I'm very grateful that along my personal development journey, I met really good people, very kind-hearted people that shows me that despite they are successful, you know, they are always giving, always loving, and they walk the talk. And that was how I learned to be a giver, to be more empathetic, and also to nurture people. Which is why I'm a true believer of a community. If you have, when you have a positive, uplifting, nurturing community, you can actually transform your life for the better, because you don't feel so difficult. You don't feel like an alien trying to change yourself, but you realize that, hey, actually, there are these people who are also equally wants to do better and always want to learn. And you just feel motivated and inspired by each other. And then you would want to keep growing and change yourself and to be better. Yeah.
That's very true. I totally agree with you. Like when you actually connect with people, you realize that you are not the only one that have the same struggles, that the same desire, and that like you are like different. You realize that actually everyone is quite similar. Like all of us are just like human with our own like needs, our own desire and all.
Yeah, which is why I always tell people, I said, your story is powerful. You got to let your story has to be told, because many people are struggling quietly these days, and they don't know that other people are going through the same problem. But when you step up, when you go out there and share your stories, people will realize that, hey, you know what? I also have this problem. Oh, I realize that I'm not alone. And if you can overcome it, so can I. And I find that when you really express yourself, tell your story, that is true courage. And by sharing your story, you help other people to learn and probably not making the same mistakes as you. So I'm a true believer of sharing our story out there and help each other.
Well, very well said. What would you say to those people who are like struggling like silently, like, you know, like what if they are like, I think people who actually struggle like alone, you know, with their problems, they are afraid, especially I think people who are especially go-getter, you know, like people who are always, they are seen as like, oh, achieving, successful and all. I think more of these people, because they might feel that they have like an image to maintain, or they're just afraid to be seen as like maybe weak, or, you know, what will you say to them?
Yeah, actually, you hit the spot. There are many go-getters, because I work with a lot with go-getters, and many of them do not see the greatness in that. They don't see the greatness in them, and in fact, even when people tell them how great they are, they just don't see that, and they are not able to receive compliments, because their standard is so high that, you know, it's always never enough. So I guess for these people, I feel that, you know, if you're stuck now, and if you want to level up in your personal or professional life. It's not really about continuing to up your standard. It's really about stop and pause to breathe in your win. Stop and pause to breathe in your win. And then after that, look around for who is that someone who has been there, done that, who would be able to help you to get to the destination that you want while helping you to be able to feel happier and to own your triumph, own your power as well. Because I feel that success without fulfillment is empty. So what's the point of you being successful or people telling you how successful you are when inside you feel so miserable? Inside you just feel like, you know, I'm so tired of doing all these things.
Yeah, that's very true. I remember, like, according to Tony Robbins, actually, like, success without fulfillment is actually failure. I remember something along the line.
Yes, Tony Robbins quote. Yes. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yes. Wow, okay. And like, what would you recommend for people to actually, you know, especially now that we are back to like P2HA, and like, what would you recommend for people to, you know, like a practice that they can work on for emotional mastery, given that you're like very trained in emotion mastery, right? Yeah.
I think there's two things that I really want to share with people. The first thing is really to protect your energy. Protecting your energy meaning that, no, there's a lot of bad news, negative news outside. And even when you don't purposely go out there and search for the news, right? The news come to you in the forms of maybe your Facebook feeds, your LinkedIn feeds, or even your WhatsApp feeds, right? So all these are actually bombarding us. And the more we listen to it, it's actually gonna consume our energy and it can create unnecessary fear. So as much as we can fill up ourselves with a more positive news, read up some inspiring books maybe, or some personal development books that can help us to grow better and keep our positivity and our performance and productivity. So that is one, protecting our energy. It's so important right now.
Okay, that's so true. That's so true. Yeah.
Last year I even took a 3 weeks of social media diet.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, until my friend was texting me, hey, what happened to you?
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
That helps a lot. Yeah. And then the second step is there's this technique that we call reframing technique. Reframing technique, basically, it means to reframe the events or the situations that has happened. So for example, let's look at COVID. So for COVID, a lot of people may think that, you know, COVID is so bad, it's taking away people's livelihood, you know, this is the end of the world. No, there's a lot of this kind of very negative thoughts, right? Yeah. At the same time, if we were to reframe ourselves, we can change the meaning of it. So if the meaning that we look at COVID is different, then it changes how we think about it and how we act on it as well, how we react to it. So for example, when I look at the COVID impact, right, there are also people who are actually thriving during this period. And those people are thriving, they are pivoting. So how do they pivot? I noticed that either they go and learn new skills, they take some of this downtime to go and learn some new skill set or new knowledge, upgrade themselves. There are also people who pivot their business. So they come up with a different business ideas and they tap on the situation, and then they offer something that the community needs. So I noticed that different way of thinking created a different outcome. So some people, they are struggling and they are shrinking because of COVID, but there are also another group of people who are actually thriving. They are pivoting and they're thriving and they're doing pretty well. So I like to focus my mind on those people that are doing well and always learn and look at how did they do that? What is it that they're thinking, or what is it that they're doing that helps them to get to that positive results that they want? Okay. So that will inspire us to also wanting to do better rather than to self-pity us and say, COVID is so shitty and there's a lot of bad things in it. So, because it takes away our power, we want to focus on the things that can increase our power. So by reframing it or by changing the meaning of that situation or that event to a more empowering meaning, that can also empower us to wanting to take a different action and change our results.
Yeah. Wow. think that's a very powerful sharing, and it's very true how like the same circumstances happen to like two different group of people. I mean the same circumstances that happen, but you get two very different outcome. One is like people really like they really go down and like in despair, whereas like some people actually like rise up and get even like stronger and all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And like what were you, because like from breakdown to breakthrough, right? What do you think are the key things for people to really like break through in both their personal and professional life? Like what does it take? Yeah.
I think one very key component is they must really want it. They must really want it. And I don't know whether you notice, a lot of people complain a lot. They complain about their life, their husband, their work, kids. They complain a lot. But eventually, when it comes to making the changes, making the exchange to change their situation, they will back out. So I always feel that eventually the key component, there must be a very strong desire inside you that says that I must change. I don't know how, but I must change, and I'll do whatever it takes to change. I feel like the moment you have this decision, the how will show up. People that you need, resources that you need, it will come to you because you call it out.
I totally agree with you. It's always about making like the decision and to like once you make the decision, you have the commitment, your mind just starts to search for a solution. Absolutely, and it just like happen. Yes,
absolutely. Yeah.
And what do you think like drives people to make this decision like that? You really want pain.
Pain. It was because we have a different tolerance level, different pain tolerance level. So for some people, when they have yet to hit that ceiling of that pain tolerance, right? They will continue to suffer. And it was only when they hit that max pain point that things will turn around, that they will decide that this is enough. I need to change. And for everyone, that time is different. That level is different. So like even sometimes I have people approach me and say that, they want to work with me. And there are those people that after I ask them about their motivation level, right, they'll tell me, 6, 7. Then I told them, I'm sorry, you're not ready. I can't help you. You need to increase this. So until you increase this motivation, there's nothing that I can do for you. Because I know with that kind of motivation level, you're just going to be half-heartedly. And no matter how good you have, let's say you have a super great fitness coach that can help to turn yourself to like have a six-pack body or a bikini abs body. But eventually you are still the one that's going to have to do the push-up. Don't you agree? Yeah, and if you're not willing to do the push-up, no matter what great guides or what great advice or whatever, it just doesn't work.
That's very true. That's very true. Like, I mean, like a coach is to actually to guide, but whether like a person will really take action, you cannot have the best coach, the best equipment and everything. But ultimately, if you don't feel like painful enough, or you don't feel inspired enough to like take action, it won't help. Like, it'll still remain the same.
Yeah. So that willingness to commit to action is very important.
Okay. Well, it's so soon. It's going to 7.
Wow.
Yes. Time
you
flies.
You asked great questions, by the way. Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Maybe like can talk about like what's one like final message that you would love to share with people that feel stuck in their life today. I think it's a very relevant question, especially like for COVID.
Yeah. I think one key message that is I always hold deeply, that I really always want to remind people, is that when you feel that you're stuck, you don't have to go through it alone. I think in Asia, we think that, it's weak to go out there and reach out for help. And so we keep telling ourselves that now we are good, we are strong, we can handle this. Or even if we were to just sweep it under the carpet, maybe it will go away. And my encouragement to you is that no, whatever that you're feeling right now, whether it's you feel sad, you feel angry, you feel anxious, you feel afraid, your soul is telling you something that is not happy about, that it wants you to change. Listen to that. And then go out there and go and find someone somewhere that you feel that, you know what, I think this person can help me. Because when you get help, right, stop wasting your time in being stuck. And then you're able to resolve your issue easier, and you're able to maybe level up your life a lot faster than when you are doing it alone, because eventually someone somewhere has done that before. So you don't have to struggle alone. That is my message.
Wow. I think that's very powerful, and it's so true. The amount of time that like you remain like staying stuck, you could have actually achieved a lot more, like faster to the breakthrough.
Yes.
And all.
Yes.
That's very true.
Yes.
And if you're also feeling stuck, I think Rainy is a very great person to talk to, definitely. Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing, Rainy, like for your stories about how you actually overcome your own like breakdown in life to how you achieve a breakthrough. And right now, like you're like coaching other people to achieve that breakthrough in life.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to thank you as well, because when you first told me that to ask me to do this, I was like, okay, it's been some time that I didn't tell my stories, and I'm like a little nervous and doesn't feel quite comfortable, because it felt like, okay, I got to tell my story again. But then again, I also know that I really like your show. I really love your Facebook Live, this show, because I feel that a lot of people needs to hear this, because everyone are suffering, and if we can just hear the stories of all of the people that you have invited, then we'll realize that we're not alone, and it's not as bad as what we thought it is, and it's possible to change, and things can change. So I appreciate you for doing this as well, and for also having me in your show. I truly appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And also, okay, stay tuned with Rainy has actually prepared a gift for you, especially if you have like taken the time to watch this live, as well as like this will be onto podcast. Will be published on podcast next week on Jenny with Mavis on Spotify. Okay, so I mean to thank you for actually listening. She prepared a gift. It's a 90-second scientifically proven personality profiling to help you to strengthen your relationship personally and professionally. All right, it's called crackmycode.com/rainmakers, which I will be putting in the comment box later. So go ahead and try it. I tried it last night and I find it very insightful also, as you understand yourself better, and also, in your communication with other people. Thank you so much, Rainy, for your gift and for your time for this show.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Yes, and if you have actually enjoyed this live, please help us to love this show and also share it to your friends, especially for people that you know that may be struggling alone right now. Because like what Rainy said, we got to protect our energy from all the news and everything. And I think more so we also need to actually pass around all this like positive messengers and all. Yes.
So what you're doing is very, very important. So I encourage you to keep doing this, and I thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Have a good evening, Mavis.
Yeah, good evening to you too, Rainy.
All right. Okay. Bye.
Bye.